Hi everyone, good morning, good evening. Welcome to this very special occasion, and I have a special guest with me for this session. In fact, I'm happy to invite Nabanita to this session. She is the winner of the global winner of our GenAI hackathon conducted by Impetus and AWS together. So, welcome to this session, Nabanita. Very happy to have you here. And quick introduction about myself. I lead all of the data science practice at Impetus. My name is Ravishankar Rao Vallabhajosyula. It's a long name. Maybe just go with Ravi. But happy to be here and look forward to speaking with Nabanita and understanding how she conceived this, submission that won the first prize, and how this applies to the industry at large, and especially generative AI, all the growth we are seeing. Nabanita, over to you. Welcome once again.
Thank you so much, Ravi. It feels like super incredible to be here. Thank you for this amazing opportunity.
Most welcome. It's really a pleasure speaking with you. Given that there have been so many talented submissions and thousands of registrations, so we're really excited to see this through and kind of with the AWS kind of take this forward and bring you up to this session. So looking forward to hearing more about how you kind of brought about create this session and deliver a very winning submission. So one thing I want to also talk about is GenAI is kind of growing really rapidly. There's a lot of things enterprises are doing today. And one of the key areas there is to deal with kind of responsible AI. And that's a very difficult task for many enterprises, given that there are a lot of hallucinations with large language models, and there's also other privacy concerns, especially with data. Because your models are as good as the data that goes in, but there are a lot of guardrails and everything that need to be built in. But to combine that with agentic AI and build something that's really at the cutting edge is something innovative, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to kind of talk to Nabanita here and hear from her how she came about creating this and how it really applies to a lot of the industry, stories we are hearing from our customers. Nabanita, one question from my side is, how do you see GenAI growing with the enterprise space, and how is it going to impact, especially the end customers, as well as all the users, because there's a lot of growth since ChatGPT days, but now there's things have advanced significantly, a lot of new areas. So it's great to see you are being deeply involved through GenAI through this hackathon. And I also want to hear from you on how GenAI is kind of really growing and where you find yourself today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think GenAI is definitely moving beyond experimentation. Right now, we're seeing it like reshape entire industries altogether. We're going from just improving decision making to automating workflows end to end, creating personalized customer experiences, and it's also driving huge real business value. I believe like the biggest impact is how it would empower both technical and business teams to innovate faster. And I do believe the heart of all of the Gen AI improvements that we are seeing, privacy is going to be a huge thing, not only today, but in the futures to come, as it will reshape on how you win customer trust and continue to win markets essentially.
Great. So we are kind of seeing similar trends, and in fact, one of the reasons for conceiving this GenAI hackathon, even conceptualizing it, was to kind of understand, where do enterprises want to kind of apply GenAI? What are some really interesting areas that we are seeing in the market? So thank you for elaborating on that. And the other question I wanted to ask as we kind of move forward is, so when you kind of started on this journey with the Gen AI, obviously you've been doing this for a while and you've done a lot of things. Uh, Now, what are the kind of biggest hurdles you faced, maybe in the context of this hackathon, because it's kind of more focused in specific areas. How does it kind of connect to your own learning path, and what did you kind of benefit from this? If you can speak to that, that'll be very powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. I think essentially one of the big challenges, obviously, is to ensure that the solution that I've been building is not just technically sound, but also practical for the real world use. So balancing accuracy, performance, scalability is in general like a crucial factor in building different applications. And also like essentially learning to leverage AWS's Gen AI services in such a short time. I had worked on some of the AWS more like app building and infrastructure scalability parts prior, but working with this entire AWS suite was like a new experience, and I am super grateful that the APIs and the documentation was super great, and I was able to work with that super quickly. And to go over like some of the overall challenges, few were like technical challenges, ensuring that not only I can rely on the Gen AI outputs, but also having like a fallback mechanisms to ensure that there's proper availability at all times for the customers was super important. I was able to achieve that during the hackathon by
Very
creating like fallback scripts for that. And then there was also architectural challenges as well, where ensuring that proper scalability, performance optimization, and agent communication was also built. I was able to do that. And then also integration challenges as well, where essentially my project worked on converting privacy regulations into code. So balancing both the legal and the technical aspects. Those were some of the things that I worked on. And then also in general, like privacy and security challenges, because I was building like a privacy focused app. So factoring those in into the app was also something that I essentially perfected through the hackathon. Yeah.
Very nice to hear. So you touched on some important points, regarding privacy and kind of ensuring that being able to kind of connect the requirements for, especially for industries. Now you may look at healthcare versus banking; they're all regulated industries, so a lot of requirements and compliances. Mapping all of those onto what can be delivered through such a solution is very important. So definitely, I understand the challenges you have kind of looked at and how you kind of worked around them. So Impetus has actually kind of been dealing with this similarly for quite some time, working with many customers. So as I mentioned in my last point, so data foundation is very important. But to help customers kind of get to the point where they can start taking data from the legacy data stores, and even the business logic that they have, we have helped customers through our own accelerator, which is called Leap Logic, which helps take all this legacy business logic and data and modernize it onto stacks such as AWS. And this is very powerful because it gives customers a way to kind of start creating these kind of solutions. And in fact, that is the reason the GenAI initiatives is kicked off at Impetus, and we have conceived we have brought together a approach called GenAI Labs to kind of help such customers quickly kind of derive ROI from their experiments. So they don't not looking at simple experiments to kind of just prove an idea, but to kind of scale it and get a business benefit. And that's where this GenAI Labs is kind of positioned. And we are kind of helping them move from experiment to enterprise scale deployment. So let's kind of spend some time going through the actual solution you have created, privacy guardian agents. I've gone through the video, and I think a lot of people have also seen it. It's available. It's really well put video explaining everything you've done and the architecture and the flow. If you can explain in simple terms what it does and why it matters for the audience, it'll be very helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. So privacy guardian agents are designed to ensure that say, safe code-based usage is done by applying a privacy license, which is like a trust layer or a governance layer for multi-agent systems. It is essentially checking within code bases for compliance, privacy issues, as well as ensuring multiple various security issues as well. Like, for example, sensitive data isn't exposed. And it is essentially the world's first privacy multi-AI agentic framework on AWS. It's ensuring that compliance becomes as natural as linting for developers, essentially preventing over $6 billion in GDPR, DPDP, and multiple privacy regulation fines before the code is pushed into production. And what inspired me was essentially the privacy crisis in software development. Every day we see developers accidentally commit sensitive data, violate GDPR, CCPA regulations, and also create security vulnerabilities. And with the fines in the industry, which is reaching billions of dollars and data breaches costing billions as well, I see an urgent need for a tool that can properly shift privacy left in the development process. And that is why I sort of chose this because the governance in AI systems is such a critical challenge and I wanted to address it head on.
Very interesting. Sure. Definitely, governance is an important area, and it's very nice to hear you pick that as your core theme. When we were kind of thinking about what are all the different areas to kind of create this hackathon around, we kind of made sure that this was one critical area because there was a lot of interest that we were hearing from customers, especially in the enterprise world. Governance is the number one barrier to scale. Okay, let's move forward. And I think you worked with AWS Stack, and you kind of detail at length all the services you've used in the submission. For the sake of the audience, we can quickly kind of summarize, which services used, and how did they help bring your solution to life, especially anything on AWS that will be useful for others kind of building similar things. We can speak to that if you
Yeah,
please.
absolutely. First of all, I think the AWS GenAI stack is really wonderful, and I've used services like Amazon Bedrock and SageMaker, where Bedrock gave me the ability to quickly prototype with foundation models like Claude, while SageMaker allowed me to fine tune and deploy. And then there are some other AWS services that I've also used, which are like traditional scalability and performance based, like your S3 to securely store like reports, and then DynamoDB for privacy analysis, trend analytics, secret scanner, and secrets manager to ensure like secure API keys are managed in a secure place. Then CloudWatch, IAM, Event Bridge, mostly around monitoring, cloud, role-based access control, event routing, API gateway, step functions for workflow orchestration and RESTful API endpoints, then SQS and CloudFront, and Route 53 for domain management, uh, global domain distribution, message queuing, and then guard duty config and code build for like CI/CD pipelines and resource compliance monitoring, as well as like secure posture management.
Very interesting. And I know you've been using AWS for a while. What was your learning path like? Was it easy to kind of pick up on all these services, given there was sufficient documentation? Was there any challenge in using them? And anything you can, speak to for aspirants who want to kind of learn Gen AI and use AWS?
Yeah, I think that in general, I really like the comprehensive documentation that AWS provides. And I felt like I was able to sort of quickly understand the various, like, I had some experience working in the AWS space in the industry, especially when I worked at Uber and a fintech company where I drove their privacy and security programs end to end. So I had some experience there and working with like various GenAI applications in AWS like Bedrock and also SageMaker. It was like very straightforward at least. And I have also been using a lot of GenAI tools as well to sort of quickly get on board in terms of the different APIs and different things that are there. So I felt like it was very seamless for me to sort of understand and build on. And in terms of advice that I would like to give to anyone who is starting to build in GenAI, I would definitely say like starting small but like being bold. So essentially picking like a real world problem where you clearly care about. There's a pain in the industry throughout that particular thing. So essentially, I would recommend that talk to people, talk to your customers, or talk to other people who are maybe facing similar challenges that you are currently facing to sort of narrow down on what the main pain point is. And then quickly prototype with GenAI tools and experiment with AWS's tools as well to bring that into life and essentially move really fast and do not be afraid to like fail because I think every iteration as you build the product, you talk to your customers, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it brings like a new learning that essentially you can continue to improve your products and improve your services. And always think about like the impact that your solution will be building because it might not be just the technology part that be truly revolutionary, but with with Gen AI tools available today, you can reshape entire industries and make it super efficient and yet like world changing for your customers.
Very interesting. Very interesting. No, thank you for providing that detailed response. In fact, what we are seeing because we're working with so many different customers, one thing we are actually helping those customers also their in fact their own developers and others kind of adapt to AWS and there's a lot of data modernization and integration work that we do. So alongside, we kind of also help those kind of customers and their developers kind of adapt quickly pick up AWS. So a lot of learning based activities we are involved with. So we see those same things, especially quick learning curve, but a lot of benefit that they can derive from those early adoption that they can take up with. Really want to thank you for your submission and want to close with any final thoughts you might have, Nabanita.
Yeah, I think what you talked about emerging tech, it is like super interesting, and I specifically see privacy being just it is as important, but I think as compared to the AI boom, I think privacy is yet to have that AI moment, and it would have soon in the next 1 or 2 years when everybody who are building on AI suddenly realizes that their differentiation and their edge is essentially that they responsibly handle users' data and maintain users' rights as well as build applications that respect users' choices. And that is where privacy will essentially come into play, where not only like you are securely storing users' choices and data, but also you're empowering them by building those automation within your workflows by
Sure.
building right privacy programs. And that is where essentially I see like the future of AI would be is like a merge with privacy at its core, powering AI to essentially build out the most responsible as well as innovative solutions in the world.
Great, thank you. That's a very good way of putting it. In fact, I also see a lot of initiatives that are happening in the AI space. It's sovereign AI is an example, kind of limiting that exposure to data within a certain region, limited that, but still it is not the it's still within that domain. There's a lot of concerns on how data is shared and privacy is addressed. But as you correctly point out, this is something that will evolve and privacy most likely will also have its own AI moment coming, very soon because that becomes very critical for these applications to go past that initial, area of concern and then deliver value. So let's conclude with this. So thank you once again, Namnita, for your sharing your journey and inspiring us. Uh, we were really, excited to see all the submissions and especially yours was the winning one. So congratulations once again, and we wish you continued success. And we're excited to see how you continue pushing the boundaries of Gen AI and innovation in coming years. Look forward to keeping in touch. Thank you once again.